Sarah Baker from the London Stock Exchange at their North American headquarters. Thank you, Sarah, for having me.
Thank you.
I'd like to ask you about London as a financial capital. Talk about its relevance to the North American market and what some of the biggest emerging markets you're seeing.
Sure. So London remains the most international financial centre in the world. We have more international companies listed than anywhere else and more international equity under management than any other market. So I think for North American companies that are either have operations abroad or looking to go global, or even sort of have ambitions but they haven't realised them yet, London is a really good place to consider raising finance. If you are a North American company and you want to trade with Mongolia, for example, you will find investors in London who understand and support what you want to achieve with your company. So I think that's really important for the North American market.
Can you talk to us about the economic climate post-Brexit and the impact it may have had on your listing business, and explain the difference in what you're seeing on the London Stock Exchange versus the AIM market?
Yeah, sure. So I think 2016 was an interesting year politically, not just in Europe, but here in the US as well. And what we saw last year was a slight slowdown in the IPO market. We saw a lot of companies from North America, which we knew were waiting to do an IPO and were sort of holding off and waiting to see what happened. But so far in 2017, the market has really rebounded. So far this year, we've had 5 North American IPOs, and we're expecting many more in the pipeline. And also the FTSE 100 post-Brexit was the leading performing international index in the world, performing other indexes here in North America and also in Asia. So that filled us with confidence. And I think going back to what I said about the internationalism of London, 75% of the companies that make up the FTSE 100 are international. So that shows the continued strength of London as an international financial centre. And we don't know what will happen in the future, but so far we look at the companies that have come from North America to London, we look at the performance of the index in London, and we're really confident about the future.
That's very encouraging.
Yeah.
What type of market sectors are you seeing, and do you find that London becomes the launch pad for future listings in other global markets?
Not so much. I mean, in terms of sectors we've had from North America so far, natural resources has done very well, not just here in the US, but also from Canada too. And we're very interested to see what happens in Mexico as well. There's some very interesting smaller companies coming through there, which we're keeping an eye on. Another sector that's done really well is investment funds. So last week we had the launch of a fund called Biopharma from a New York-based pharmaceutical fund. And that completely outperformed what its initial expectations were. So we're really enthusiastic about that, and we see a lot more in the pipeline. I think for North American companies, one area which we think really appeals from London is our AIM market. So in the US, the average size of a company on NASDAQ is $500 million. The average size of a company on AIM is $100 million. So you can get a listing on a public market in London at a much earlier stage in your growth than you could do in the US. So we're seeing a lot of interest from smaller companies in the US, maybe those who have had VC funding in the past and the VCs are looking for an exit route, or maybe they want an alternative to VC funding altogether. And those are the kind of companies, those smaller companies that are thinking internationally, that London, I think, could be right for.
Just from a broader macroeconomic standpoint, what we heard a lot here in the media in the US was Britain's departure from the European Union. From your standpoint and your experience, how will London maintain its leadership position?
So we don't know what will happen in the future. Article 50 has just been triggered. It's going to be at least a 2-year process of negotiation, and then a lot more negotiation after that. But I think going back to London's internationalism, we have full confidence that those international investors and the advisors around the companies that we have listed will remain in London. And we're in close contact with obviously the UK government and also the European Commission to make sure that London retains its prominent position as the European financial capital.